The Texas assembly truck has finally got a refresh. It has all new parts from the global platform F, which is shared with the Land Cruiser, the Lexus LX. Today, Toyota of Tampa Bay has given us the all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition in your smoked mesquite. This is a full redesign, 140%. The size of the competitors is the new drivetrain. Twin turbo V6 instead of the V8, which is going to get you better gas consumption, more power, more towing, more payload, new composite bed, better aerodynamics, more technology in the interior, and even for the back seat to have all the luxury capacity. And it goes against your rivals like your Ford F-150, your Chevrolet Silverado, your Ram 1500. Which pickup truck is going to be the best all-road capabilities plus payload, towing, luxury, technology? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Toyota Tundra 1794 edition comes loaded up with the new redesigned grille. You're going to get the chrome surrounding it with the Tundra on the lower lip. The interior will have the silver inlays. Functional side air domes is going to help with those aerodynamics. That's underneath these updated auto leveling LED headlamps and daytime runnings. The clearance has decreased to 9.3 inches. However, it's still about an inch more than the Ram, and it's also about a half an inch wider than the previous generation at 80.2 inches. The Ram will be the widest. This is going to be the tallest in the segment at 78 inches. 20-inch dark chrome alloy wheels is what we're going to have with the gray that's going to surround the fenders. 1794 edition with the chrome surrounding it. Your single exhaust outlet, chrome that's going to be on both of the sides of the bumper with the new Tundra badging in the center. Sleek hidden fog lamps that's in the grille. First time ever with the adaptive variable suspension with load leveling, rear height control, new double wishbone front suspension, and multi-link rear suspension, which dispenses of the leaf spring for coil springs, adding lateral rigidity, giving us a smoother and comfortable ride. The length has increased to 233.6 inches, which is almost 5 inches more than the prior generation. A wheelbase at 145.7 inches. The Chevy Silverado will be about 8 inches longer in length. You will have your power running boards, and you got the chrome treatment that's going to be on the lower trim of the windows, door handles, and the mirror cap. Digital rear view camera, 360-degree reverse camera, new LED tail lamps. Towing has increased by more than 17% than the prior generation to 12,000 pounds max. The payload has increased by over 11% at 1,925 pounds. This is a 5x5 box. Unfortunately, the towing will not be the best in class. You do have your spare tire tucked underneath here. Going inside your 5x5 box is going to start off with your power step to get inside, which is unlike any truck on the market, with a length that's 65.6 inches, a width at 58.7 inches between the wheel well housing at 48.7 inches, and a height of 20.9 inches. We do have the bed extender, which will give us an additional near 20% more storage for the cargo box. 120 volt, a new tow haul mode, the new twin turbo V6. I think we need to go inside, start it up so we can hear that exhaust note. Still giving us an athletic exhaust note no more V8, but we do have engine options, and it is one of the best in class for MPGs, and Toyota has backed the performance with an iForce 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, producing 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission with sequential shift, achieving 18 to 23 MPGs, which is the best in class comparing to any of the V8s. Obviously, this is a twin turbo V6. However, most people when they're getting trucks like that V8 raw power, and this still fits in the segment. The 0 to 60 at 6.1 seconds, which is quicker than the Ram 1500, a quarter mile at 14.5 seconds, which is also quicker. Stopping distance 70 to 0. 185 feet, which is better than the Ford F-150, a top speed at around 108 miles per hour. The styling that they've done for this full redesign definitely makes the 1794 edition stand out, and when we go into the drive, we're going to see if the power really is still there, comparing it to that V8. Let me know in the comments what you think about the all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Inside the Toyota Tundra 1794 edition, you're going to receive 41 inches of headroom, 41.2 inches of leg room. This is going to be better than the Ram 1500 with the sand beige leather interior. 14-way power adjustment for the driver, 12-way power adjustment for the passenger. They're heated, ventilated, perforated. You got the two-tone effect. You also have the soft leather. I like the modern twist that we're doing. New technology is implemented with the 14-inch touch screen with navigation, 12 speakers with JBL audio sound system. We don't have the navigation because it's not subscribed, which is something that I was talking about earlier in other car reviews, how they're doing subscription based. That way they can make monthly fees. You will have to pinch the swipe. This has your wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, HD radio, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. We have 360-degree reverse camera with the trajectory for the tow lineup. You can also change the different viewpoints for your reversing to make it easier. We do also have the bird's eye view that you can do the interior scope or the exterior and your digital rear view mirror. So that way you can see everything a little bit higher up because of where it's located. Dual climate control settings is still here, so I do like that. And we have a functioning rotary knob for your sound system. Working down the lower bit, your wireless charger, your auto hold. The gloss black is going to be surrounding the driving mode select, and when you go into there, you can change it from eco, comfort, normal, sport, sport plus, and custom. And as you see on the gauge cluster, it is digital, 12.3 readout. It does configure it and change and alter the way the driving patterns is. It's also multi-use. There's a lot of functionalities to make it easier for the driving. Leather wrapped steering wheel, it's multi-function. I do like that we got the silver. It's all perforated except for on the top and on the lower bit, but it does feel nice and beefy with a 10-inch heads-up display, so we can see everything illuminated right in front of us. That illuminates right above this long hood, which helps us know where the front bumper is. 1794 edition badging in the American walnut wood inlays with the two-tier dash. It has two different colors and contrast stitching, and I like how chunky it looks because it really makes us feel like we're powerful with a twin-turbo V6 instead of a V8, which we'll see how the drive is here in a bit. For the elbows, it's going to be nice and soft. You got a little storage tray here that you can slide, open this up, and you got a little area that you can put some business cards. Open up inside here, it's nice and deep with a safe. So I do like this because you can put your wallet, you can put anything that you need that's going to be safe and protected, a USB-C port, and you have plenty of storage capacity next to it as well. So storage compartments in the front, they did an excellent job. Door panel is going to have softer materials all over. When you're comparing it to the rivals, this is going to be the softest setup. Pretty much everywhere with the silver contrast stitching, the two-tone, one touch up and down for all the windows. I do like the maple wood that's inside here, memory for the driver, a storage tier, more storage even on the lower with your upgraded sound system. The door panels are raised up a little bit, a pano moonroof that goes all the way into the back. Let's see how I look back there. For the back seats, I'm at 36.9 inches of headroom, 41.6 inches of legroom, which is pretty sufficient. In the way I sit, I actually recline back, so I do like that. Manual sunshades, and I like that the grips are on the exterior because it makes it easier to open. The only hard material that you'll see on this door panel is going to be right here. Otherwise, soft materials. You get the contrast stitching, the silver. You got the two-tone. It's going to be soft for the elbows. One touch up and down for the window. Two storage tiers, just like the front. The only difference is it's going to be a little bit harder to access the actual lower bit because of the dimensions of here. Elbows are going to be nice and soft here as well. Two USB ports and a 12-volt ventilated and heated rear seats. Storage behind both of the front seats, and the seats do fold up to a 60-40 split, which has a storage divider in between it as well. The floor isn't completely flat, but you still have the capacity to use the cargo even in the interior. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is going to be a bit of an issue, but legroom, I'm loads and miles away. I'm going to be sharing feet, shoulder, butt space, but not necessarily a huge amount of butt and shoulder space, just the feet because of the way the floor isn't completely flat. However, you could put your feet up like this. It might be a little bit uncomfortable because of the way you're sitting, as you can see, but if you're going on a long journey, you can at least move around a little bit because it is a wide interior. The thing I like the most about the rear of the 1794 is the fact that I feel like I'm in an older vehicle and it's more retro design, which I think they just hit it right on the head, especially for that design, for the interior giving a modern / retro look. Taking the all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition out for our test run. No more V8, which gives us 5 miles by 5 miles per gallon, better than the prior generation. Twin turbo V6 engine. Is it going to be sufficient for what we need it to be? The drive in the vehicle, is it going to be comfortable? It already feels very wide because of the way the interior projects itself. Going over speed bumps, it actually is pretty smooth. I do like that the side view mirrors are extra large because the vehicle is extra large. The digital rear view mirror, unfortunately, where it sets, because we do set up pretty high, it actually makes it a little bit less easy to see in the back. But overall stance, it is pretty large whenever you're comparing it to the prior generation. Both the prior and this generation was a big vehicle to begin with. So increasing the length is not going to make it necessarily easier to drive, but the suspension layout so far is very smooth, very quiet, and I like the fact that we don't hear anything on the exterior except for a little bit of throatiness from that V6 twin turbo engine. 389 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, V6 twin turbo. Here we go. Does have a very lively engine note, so I do like what I'm hearing. Even though I am prone to the V8s, twin turbo engines are always something nice, and when you go over impurities at a higher speed, you can see it just pretty much glides with the upgraded suspension that we have. Now, everything in this vehicle has been engineered to be more or less better than the prior generation, so I do applaud Toyota for even going that extra step. Increasing the towing over 17%, increasing the payload over 11%. No dual pane windows, and it's still very seamless because the dashboard is up higher. I actually feel like I'm sitting lower even though I'm sitting higher up, so I do like the contrast that they're doing. This updated infotainment screen is huge, 14 inches, which is amazing. The thing that I dislike, which we'll get to in a second, obviously I don't like subscription-based services. Dual climate control. Every seat in this vehicle is heated, ventilated, 14-way power adjustment. Here we go, twin turbo. Visibility is great. It does feel enormous in the width and the length, especially when I look back. I can't see hardly anything besides the back seat. So they did a good job in the sense for the interior space. However, it's a little bit longer for a daily driven vehicle. It can be something that you got to get used to. As for the dynamics, the steering wheel is going to be a little bit more artificial than the prior generation. That one's going to be a little bit more heavier to ride. This one's going to be a little bit more elegant and luxury. Ground clearance has decreased, and even if you get the TRD, it's still not going to be as much as the prior generation, but you still have over 9 inches, so you're good with that. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like about it is how they actually did a refresh in the vehicle. The platform, everything. The engine, I mean, A lot of the automotive industry isn't even doing this. What they're doing is just changing aesthetics in the interior, and I applaud Toyota for taking such a bold risk and maneuver for this truck. Braking on the vehicle, it's about the same as the prior generation. You still get the dual piston front setup and the single in the rear, so it's good with that. Turn radius, however, because this is a long vehicle, gonna expect to be over 3 lanes is what we got, and here we go. The second thing that I like about it, even though it's not a V8, the twin turbo V6 still packs the performance and you get better gas consumption. What they did in the prior generation is they added extra gallons of fuel for your tank, so you wouldn't think it was such a gasaholic. 5 miles over 5 miles per gallon more than the prior generation is quite a bit, and if you're looking at it from V8 perspective, it's a lot more, especially when you're driving on a further journey. Stopping in the middle of the road, give her full gas. It's lovely. I like a V8 note, don't get me wrong, but a twin turbo V8, V6 definitely sounds awesome. The last thing that I like about it is how comfortable the ride is. The prior generation was a little bit more bumpy and athletic. This one really is a lot more seamless in the sense of if it's your first time buying a large truck, you're going to be very happy in the sense for the comfort and the capacity that you could tow, payload, and all the amenities you could fit in the interior. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle has to go with the base curb weight. It's over 5,200 pounds, which it's a little bit over, almost 100 pounds more than the prior generation. But when you push the gas, it actually kind of feels like it until it kicks into it a little bit. So there's a little bit of a lag with the twin turbo, but that's going to happen because of the small displacement of this engine and the amount of power that you get. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle has to go with the tech. The subscription-based thing, I've been talking about this, I even put it on my community chat, how this is what the automotive industry is trying to do. Charge you for things like your navigation, for your heated ventilated seats. The good thing here, I don't think they could charge you for the heated ventilated seats because you actually have physical buttons. However, everything with technology they can. Green light, here we go. And you can see what I mean. It just takes a little bit of hesitation to really push and get up to the speed that you want because it's a lot of power underneath it. Once it goes and spools up, it's just ever so quick and it just keeps going. However, you're gonna have to hit right around 2.5 RPM for it to really liven up. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is I feel that this is the largest, even though the Chevy Silverado is over 8 inches longer. This actually feels longer than it. This feels wider than a Ram TRX, and that's a wider vehicle than this as well. When I'm saying I dislike that, the reason being is because the dynamics in those vehicles are able to maneuver in and out a little bit easier. The turn radius isn't going to be over 3 lanes. This one is. I have it in eco mode, pushing the gas. It's not really a difference. It doesn't make the pedal feel heavier like Nissan, so I do like the fact that we don't have that issue, but it does keep it at a lower RPM. You can definitely feel that, whereas when you put it into the Sport S Plus mode, it's going to hit at a higher note. Come on, man. Whereas when you put it in the Sports S Plus mode, it's going to stay at a higher note, and you're going to hear that exhaust note as well. I mean, listen to how quiet the ride is otherwise. Definitely a smooth vehicle comparing it to the prior generation. A lot more composed, just glides over everything. It's not going to be so boaty in the sense of dynamics. It's going to be a little bit more artificial, but it's going to be also a little bit more practical in the sense for a comfortable ride. What I like is something better than you like. One thing that I do like is this. You get a throaty exhaust note. I wish it had dual exhaust outlets just because of how noisy it is. But I'd like to thank Toyota of Tampa Bay for giving us the all-new 2022 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next button for the next video. The subscribe button. Check out the details, merchandise, website, everything we do here at Hawkeye Rods.